Let's break down those results from the latest One News Kantar public poll. So National has overtaken Labour in party support for the first time since the pandemic. As I said, they've gone up 7 points to sit at 39%. Labour is down 3 points at 37%, and that's the lowest result for the party since 2017. The Green Party is steady at 9% as the third highest polling party after ACT fell another 3% down to 8%. And Te Pāti Māori, as we've heard, is steady at 2%. Now let's look at the numbers for preferred Prime Minister. Jacinda Ardern is still on top, but has gone down 1% and is sitting at 34%. That's her lowest preferred Prime Minister result since September 2017. Luxon has surged up 8% at 25%, and this is the highest preferred PM ranking for a national leader since Sir Bill English in 2017. David Seymour is down 1%, sitting at 5%, and Winston Peters is up 1%, resting on 2%. Now, what was also interesting about the preferred Prime Minister, was that when it was boiled down to a question of if you can just choose between Jacinda Ardern and Christopher Luxon, who would you prefer? The numbers there, 46% choosing Jacinda Ardern and 45% choosing Christopher Luxon. So extremely close numbers there. And for more on this and on the poll, let's go to our political panel this morning. Labour Minister Michael Wood and National MP Simon Bridges. Michael and Simon, thank you both very much for joining us this morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Simon, National now the highest ranking party, Luxon up 8 points. Is this vindication for your push for a change in leadership in National?
Yeah, I think it does, represent, Chris's great leadership. I think it's also a case of the team coming together, right people in the right place. I mean, look, we're not getting carried away, but it is encouraging. I think what it actually shows is that the signs are for a very close election. People are really focused on this, and actually that we've seen a Labour Party that's been quite flat-footed on a bunch of issues.
Michael, personality politics has always been a strength for Labour, but this is the lowest result since the party took office. Is this a sign that the leader, Jacinda Ardern's refusal to call this a cost of living crisis, is hurting the party?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think what we see coming through here is the fact that we have a government that's dealing with very challenging times, an Omicron outbreak, yes, pressures on the cost of living driven by international factors, and it's not a big surprise to see a little bit of a reflection there. But I think, as Simon says, probably what this reflects is that we are in a tight political environment. Most MMP elections are, but of course we're also a long way out. And so our main focus is just making sure that we're taking care of those key issues, getting the economic recovery moving, those big long-term issues like climate change, like child poverty, and we'll keep doing the work there.
The economic recovery does matter to people, and acknowledgement of the situation people are in and their cost of living matters to people. And the Prime Minister not saying that this is a cost of living crisis, and yet now her own MPs are stepping away from that. Carmel Sepuloni now changing the language to saying some families would call this a cost of living crisis. Michael, do you support that view?
Well, what I would say is it's less important the language that individual politicians might use, and it's more important what we actually do about it.
Okay, well, what language would you use?
Well, what I would absolutely acknowledge is that there are cost of living pressures, real cost of living pressures that people face. We do see those petrol prices. Of course, we know that's driven by international factors. What is important is what we do, and that's why our focus is on supporting low and middle income earners, not big tax cuts for the very wealthiest, as National would propose.
Well, actually, I want to ask that. Michael, are you clear, actually, whether the National Party are removing that 39% tax band for top earners and essentially giving more money to the higher earners? Because to me, it's kind of clear as mud. Are you clear?
Well, it's a little bit fuzzy, to be honest, we've got slightly different answers from them. But if that is indeed what they are proposing, remember they said that they would remove all of the tax changes Labor made, and we did put that slightly higher tax rate in for the highest earners over 180,000. I've just done the sums. For someone like me as a cabinet minister, if National goes ahead with that, I'll get a $7,000 tax cut as a cabinet minister.
So Simon, can you clear that up? Is that top rate going?
Yes, I can.
Simon, can you clear that up?
Yes, it is in the first term of National. But here's the problem. See, with our tax relief package that we put forward for Grant Robertson to pick up, what Michael's actually saying is that someone on 80K with a family in Auckland's rich, that they're doing real well. No, we actually believe in a cost of living crisis, they deserve $1,000 back. It's not going to make them rich, but it will be some meaningful relief. We've got Grant Robertson spending mega bucks. He's going in with the biggest spending in this next budget we've ever seen in the history of this country, but he thinks he can spend it better than Kiwis can. And I say, you know what? On the way through, a small proportion of all that spending that Grant Robertson's going to do should go back in the hand of Kiwis into their back pocket so they can get through this problem.
Yeah, so whatever voters think about this, I guess we will see at the next election. Just very quickly from both of you, Simon, could National work with the Māori Party if they hold the balance of power? Yes or no?
I mean, in the end, they're things to the leader, but I think we could work with a range of parties, possibly including Te Pāti Māori. We have in the past. I suppose the issue is, would they? But there's a long way to go.
And Michael, how would you feel about working with Māori parties? Should they hold the balance of power too?
We've always had strong relationships with a range of parties in Parliament. As Simon says, we're a long way for an election. We'll see what the results are at that time in 2023. In the meantime, we're getting on with the job, the economic recovery.
Labour Minister Michael Wood and National MP Simon Bridges. Appreciate you both joining us this morning.